Alright, you guys, we're back with our latest trainee. This is Jaxzen. This is a 15, 16-month-old German Shepherd. Hi, Cindy. And he's been doing great, but Jaxzen's got some serious issues with being a fear biter combined with being dog aggressive. So I want you guys to understand they've got more than one thing going on a lot of the time. So he's not good around other dogs at all. But Cindy, I want you to know he's been doing better and better. I've been letting him out in the back with the other dogs, and that's been going well. They kind of just ignore him, so he's starting to get relaxed and get a little bit more curious. And that's really the only way to fix something like that, you guys. And I know it's hard. I want to send a special shout out to our new friend Adam in the UK. It can be really hard when you don't have, I know we've got access to a lot of other dogs that we can use to work with, but when you've got one like this that's dog and people aggressive, and we've talked about this before, you guys, you first gain control around other dogs. You don't have, we're not going to have a bunch of people darting around the dog. We're going to gain control around the other dogs, which is going to allow us to gain control around the people. So I'm just going to call these dogs over here so you guys can kind of see what it is that he does. Son, Gillis. Son. Son, Gillis. All right, well, he's not doing it right this second, but here, let's see if we can get him to. Gillis. Alright, so he's actually showing big improvements from the other day, Cindy. I'm sure you can see that. But what he does is he kind of gets all his hair up and crunches up and sort of starts snapping, and then if they start to move away, then he kind of goes after them. Anyway, so we've already introduced the collar, but we're just going to continue with that. So, Cindy, when you hear that buzzing sound, that's the vibration. That's when the collar's vibrating like the phone pager. And when you hear that shorter chirping sound, that's the nick. And the nick is what we're using instead of your pinch collar. So that's how I want you to think of the nick. If I pop the leash, I'm going to hit that nick at the same time. It's going to contract the muscles in his neck to get his attention the same way you were trying to do with the pinch collar, except for it's going to be more effective and it's not going to require, a bunch of physical jerking on my part because he's very strong. So we're going to just take off walking. All right, son, go over there and clean up the food. Gillis. So with a dog like this, you've got to use a lot of nick in the beginning because he's so strong, he's used to pulling. So we're just teaching him to give into the pressure of the leash. Gillis. So remember, you guys, sometimes you're going to hit that nick in a sequence. So every time that leash is going tight, I'm hitting that nick. I'm keeping a very good grip on that leash. So remember, the subtask is I don't want the leash made tight. All right, guys, we're going to be back in a second with part 2. I've already got him started with the off-leash recall. See you in a sec.